Oh, okay, okay. That is pretty much common sense. I don't know why I didn't think about that. For some reason, I was sitting there thinking a little bit deeper than I should have, and I was sitting there thinking about having to use another, another little setup with it. Okay, okay. Thank you for that information, there, Operator Henry.
Yeah, no worries there. No worries there, Thomas. That's the best way to do it. You're going to have really the best system. Now you're going to have two coaxes. You're going to have two coaxes. You're going to have one that's going to be about a couple feet longer than the other one, just because of you're going to go up another foot and a half up above it to the top. You're going to clamp on your Antron 99 or your IMAX to the very top of the pole. And then you're going to clamp that down, straight down. It's going to spin around on the center axle with the beam. But what's going to happen is the coax is going to come straight down, and then it's going to meet the coax of the beam. And then I don't know where you're going to have your rotor motor or what you're going to do, but anyway, you can put the coaxes together. And then if the way I have it set up is mine's a very lightweight beam. Mine's a very lightweight beam. So I got a rotor motor. I got a rotor motor from Radio Shack, and I got my rotor motor at the very top of the tower. The very top of the tower with a 2-foot piece of pipe that's welded up there on the tri crank-up tower. The tri comes up to a center pole, and it's about 2 feet, about 2 foot, about a foot and a half to 2 feet long. The pole. And the tri crank-up tower is welded up to it. And then I slid the beam down. I clamped on the Antron 99. I slid the beam all the way down. I clamped on the Antron 99 at the very top of it. And then I slid the beam back up only about, maybe, I'm going to say a couple of, now first of all, I got to take that back. Is different than the pole that I'm going to have cut that's 2 foot long that's on the rotor motor. Okay, so what I'm saying is that I have about a foot piece of pipe that's welded to the top of the tower that's in the center, and that's why I clamped on my rotor motor. I have a Radio Shack is pretty heavy duty TV rotor motor, and I clamped that on real good there. I pointed to the north. And I set it up so it's all north to north, right? And I clamped on the rotor motor there. Then I cut another 2-foot piece of pipe, about a foot and a half piece of pipe, 2-foot piece of pipe at the most. I'd say a foot and a half. And I clamped that onto the rotor motor. It has some U-clamps. Clamped that onto the rotor motor, and then I slid the beam all the way down to the rotor motor, and then up only about 2 inches, 2.5 to 3 inches, and I clamped it to the north, because I had the rotor motor and everything, the control box, everything. I got the rotor motor stopped at north, so then I can go north to north, swing it all the way around. So I put it, I clamped on the beam, pointed to the north, and then I just went up to the rest of the pipe. There was about a foot and a half up above it. I clamped on my Antron on the very top, hooked up the coaxes, brought the coax straight down from the Antron to meet the coax from the beam, made a nice, put the coaxes together, tie strapped them together or taped them with black tape, and made a loop up and around the rotor motor, so when the rotor turns around the antenna, it clears the little rotor motor without getting hooked up on it. And then right down below it on the pipe of the tower, I got the coaxes together and the power wire from the rotor control box all together, tightened really tight, tie strap taped, so there's no way it can be yanking on those, and then it goes straight down to the Radio Shack room. I got a switch box. Number 1 is my Antron, number 2 is my beam. Hello, yellow.
All right, man. Hey, you was top notch the whole time you were talking, buddy. 10 dB. I'm just sitting in my driveway out here, man. That's an awesome setup, right? That really helped me out. I got you recording on the Watergate here, so I can listen back to it, man. I really appreciate that information right there, my friend. I'm thinking about using a little hazer. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Also, I got another quick question to ask you. I built this box right here, and I biased it for sideband, and I think it might need just a little bit of energy on the key up there, but like with me talking right here, like it unkeyed just in and keyed back. Can you tell that it's doing that? Like right there, it unkeyed and keyed back. Can you tell?
Yeah, What is it doing? What are you saying it's doing now? What is it? Is it an amplifier? What is it?
Yeah, it's a 4 transistor amplifier I built, and I biased it for sideband, but it needs a little bit more energy. You know, when I key up, when I talk, you know, when I talk and it keys up, and if I pause it, unkey, just like that right there, it unkeyed and keyed back up. It ain't no problem. I was just making sure that you can't tell that it's doing it.
I can't tell it's doing it. I can't tell it's doing it. You're talking about the relays? The relays are chattering?
Yeah, it's not chattering. It's just when I'm talking like this right here, it's fine. But if I pause like that right there, it unkey. Key back up. See what I'm saying? It ain't no problem at all. I was just kind of curious if you could tell if it was doing it. If you can't tell if it was doing it, it ain't really no big deal.
Yeah, right. No, I can't tell it's doing it. Well, what it is that it's driving forward and keying up the relays for the power when you modulate it, when you go ahead and drive it, when you drive it with audio. So the only thing you can do to keep those relays keyed up, I found that problem with a couple other amplifiers, and I mean I like to. So hold on a second. Got somebody coming on in here. Hold on.
This guy's in California, awesome conditions. I don't know if you can tell on the meter. I got a 910 dB on the whole time he's talking.
Okay, hey Dan, you still out there? I should say Thomas, you still out there in Georgia?
Yeah, still out here, Roger.
Okay, listen, I got somebody I got to talk to, but I'll be back in a short. Yeah, I know what I was going to say about the amplifier with the relays is that the one way that we had that chattering going on, let's say not chattering, but going in and out, was that we drove the modulation up to it so it stayed keyed up, because that's what keys up the relays, and we put an echo mic with just a bit of echo, not too much echo. You don't even tell that the echo's in there, but what it does is it keeps the audio driven. It keeps the audio driven until the next voice peak. If you take long breaks between breath, then the relay's going to chatter. But kind of click in and out. I like to keep it keyed up when I'm talking, but you got to keep talking fast. If you got one of those, there's another thing you can do inside the amp. There's a capacitor, something you can change and stay keyed up a lot longer. In between voice, but otherwise, a little bit more driven on the audio, a little bit more audio into it, either with an echo power mic with just a hint of echo, keeps it keyed up a little longer. Is one trick that we've done in the past. Listen, I got to get over here to the customer and talk to him, but I'll be back here in just a little while. Maybe I'll catch you back, okay?
All right, that's fine. Yeah, I built that's what I'm gonna do is add just a little bit bigger of electrolytic to it and see, and that'll fix the problem. I was just kind of curious if you could tell. Have a good one out there, Operator Henry. It's been a pleasure, man. God bless, and 73s.